Yo, what's up with y'all boys and girls, man? Hey, it's Jay Briggs here with my guy, Chris Ruffolo, as we continue to cook up this WNBA action, man. We got a really nice card today, man. Y'all know what we finna do. We finna break it down, try to kick the crap out of the books per usual. Ruffalo, what's happening? How you doing today?
I'm doing all right, man. Yeah, today the rare 5-game WNBA card, but some decent matchups on there. But I will say it is looking like a fairly tough card. But we'll break it down in a minute. How you doing?
Doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm kind of with you. It's low key a tough card, but I got you with me, man. So I know we'll find our way through and make the people some money. So let's do exactly that. Let's make some money today. And without further ado, let's hop right into tonight's WNBA action. First game of the day. We got the Indiana Fever at home at the crib with the Connecticut Sun rolling into town. Look, the Connecticut Sun have owned the Fever this season. They've won all three meetings. 92-71 was the score in the first one in Connecticut. 88-84 was the score in the second one in Indiana. 89-72 was the score in the most recent one in Connecticut. So two of the three, the Sun have completely taken the Fever behind the woodshed. Connecticut has also played really well since coming out of the break. They had the one hiccup against the Dream, but outside of that, they've handled business. Y'all know me, though, man. A, I like this Fever team. I like Caitlin Clark a lot. B, I love a revenge spot at home at the crib. And this one, it don't get no better than this. This is a triple revenge spot at home at the crib for the Fever. If they don't get it done here, they might not never beat the Connecticut Sun. This is the last meeting for them in the regular season, and I know the Sun are playing well, but I've liked what I've seen from the Fever in certain spots. Only spot they let me down was against the Lynx the other night, but that was on Maya Moore night. So it really, in hindsight, it really wasn't that surprising that they lost that game by double digits. They were competitive in it in certain spots, and I think they'll be exactly that tonight. And to be honest, I think they win it outright. So give me Indiana. I'm gonna take them straight up on the money line or plus the points, however you want to do it. Ruffalo, what you like hearing this one?
Yeah, see, it's weird. We have stuff that we carry over from other sports, and I think that I'm going to steal one of your phrases here. I think for me, when it comes to covering the spread and just not showing up and maybe disappointing, I think I'm ready to crown the Connecticut Sun the house of disappointment in the WNBA. This is a team that I thought, early on this season, I thought that they would, use that defense to crush teams. But there's been a lot of times where they've looked like the Virginia basketball of the WNBA, where they lean on that defense a little bit too much. Now, yeah, like you said, they've crushed the Fever twice this season. But the closest meeting between the two was in Indiana. It was a 4-point game, and it's worth noting these two teams haven't met since early June. When the Fever lost that last game, they were 3-10. They are now 14-16. They have been a completely different team since that last loss to the Sun. I'm taking the Fever plus the 3.5 as well. I'm with Jake. You can sprinkle a bit on the money line as well. This is a Fever team that is, has a newfound confidence since that last meeting, and they legitimately believe that they can make the playoffs. So I'm taking the Fever here plus the points.
Next game up, we got the Chicago Sky at home at the crib with the Washington Mystics rolling in. Ruffalo, you're up first here in this one.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It looks a little bit tempting on the surface to take a shot on the Mystics. Best cover team in the WNBA. Coming off of that big upset win over the Seattle Storm. But for me in this one, I'm just not getting enough points to go against the Sky here. I just think that Chicago, in the midst of the playoff hunt, they've got Angel Reese playing out of her mind on the boards, and this is a Chicago team that needs to snap out of it. Yeah, they've played some tough teams since the Olympic break coming back. They're just 1-4 straight up. Had a game against the Aces, a game against Connecticut, another team in the playoff race in the Phoenix Mercury. They played them twice. And the only wins come against the Los Angeles Sparks, which isn't saying a whole lot. But I think that this is sort of we're in must-win territory for the Sky at home. So much like the Mystics and what they've done against the number, I'm just not getting enough points with them. I'm gonna take the Sky on the money line. There's not much of a difference here, so give me the Chicago Sky on the money line.
Fair enough. Two for two, because I'm with you on this one as well. I'm on the sky. I'm going to take them straight up on the money line. I think this is a breath of fresh air for them. Coming out of the break, we've seen them play the Mercury, the Sun, and the Aces. You know, all three teams that have positive records in the WNBA. The Mystics, I think, are a definite step down in competition from those three teams that they've played. They're also at home at the crib in this one. Washington's coming off of being at home pretty much the entire coming out of the entire break. They played the first game on the road, but they've then played three straight home games. Look, it's also a revenge game at home at the crib for the Sky, and I love those. Season series tied 1-1 between these two. Sky won the first meeting. Both meetings were in Washington. I expect the Sky to show up tonight. I do. I think, like Ruffolo said, Angel Reese will be getting her team some second chance points, and I think that'll be enough to propel the Sky to a win tonight at home at the crib. So that's definitely the way I would lean. I know the Mystics have been a cover machine, a money-making team, but I got to fade them tonight. Give me the Sky here in this one. Next game up, got the Atlanta Dream out on the road facing the Seattle Storm. Storm laying 7.5 points at home at the crib in this one. Look, the Storm pissed me off the other day. They lost outright to the Mystics, bro. Outright. They lost outright to the Mystics the other day at home. Like, what the hell was that about? The Storm, I crown them as the Denver Nuggets of the WNBA. They're supposed to go stupid, dummy, crazy at home at the crib. I laid the double digits, and they lost outright. I expect them to come in here locked in and win this basketball game and to spank the Atlanta Dream. That's how I see this one shaping out. The Dream, they won the last meeting between these two teams. It was 83-81 in Atlanta. It wasn't even that long ago. It was a couple days ago, really, or about 11 days ago, So in Atlanta, but again, the Storm coming off a loss at home, I got to be there. A revenge game at home, I got to be there. So give me the Storm. Hopefully they come in here locked in, loaded, and take care of business at home at the crib like they've done for the majority of the season. So I got to fade the Dream in this spot, even though they've been playing really well coming out of the break.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately going to be on the other side here. It's going to be interesting, but I agree with you. The Storm have been a team that's been kind to us at home this season. I also agree with you that they pissed me off in that loss against the Mystics. What I'm looking at here is that the Storm have failed to cover in 6 straight. They're 0-4 against the spread since the Olympic break, 1-3 straight up. And not only that, for me, this feels kind of like a look-ahead spot for the Seattle Storm, kind of a sandwich spot, if you will. They go from losing to the Mystics. Now they play the Dream before being host to the Liberty this weekend, I believe, and then 2 games out in Connecticut. So a tough little 3-game stretch coming up for them as we head down the stretch run of the WNBA regular season. The Dream, nothing's guaranteed for this Atlanta team. They are on the outside looking in right now. And if they want any shot at making the playoffs, they got to put their best foot forward here. And this is the healthiest they've been in some time. So I'm going to take a shot here on the Dream plus the 7.5.
In our next game up, we got the Minnesota Lynx out on the road facing the Phoenix Mercury. Lynx 3.5 point road favorites. Ruffolo, what you like here in this game?
Yeah, this is going to be interesting because the Phoenix Mercury, they're in the midst of the playoff hunt as well, and they want some revenge against this Minnesota team that just beat them back in June. And the home teams won all 3 meetings this season, but I will say the Minnesota Lynx for me have been playing some fantastic basketball out of the Olympic break. 5-0 straight up against the spread. A lot of these games haven't been close, including a couple of double-digit wins against the Las Vegas Aces, which are really impressive. For me, this also, I don't want to say it's a sandwich spot for the Lynx. They got a couple games against Phoenix and Dallas ahead, but I think this is just a spot where the Minnesota Lynx are just a better team. Phoenix, in a lot of spots this season, have had the issue of taking the step up in competition. We've seen them fall flat against some of the better teams in the WNBA. So for me, I think that this game is no different. I'm going to take the Lynx here in the reasonable number, laying the 3.5.
Fair enough. The Lynx, they have been balling. Like you said, 5-0 ATS and 5-0 straight up recently. Shout out to him. For me, I'm starting to see there's a theme brewing today in today's WNBA card. And that theme is revenge games at home at the crib. Hey, the Lynx won the last meeting between these two teams. I'm gonna take the Mercury here to bounce back and try to shock the world tonight. That's what I'm gonna do. 3.5. I think the line looks a little funky anyway at 3.5, especially with how hot the Lynx have been. But we've already seen Mercury get them once. That game was in Phoenix, and I think they can do it again. I really believe they can do it again. So getting this many points in my back pocket over a bucket, or just taking them straight up on the money line, attacking the plus money is probably where I want to be. Fading the Lynx, it's not fun. I've been on that Lynx train a lot this season, but I think I'm going to hop off here just for this one game. Keep the theme going. Revenge game at home. I'm going to take the Mercury. And in our last and final game of the night, got the Los Angeles Sparks at home, at the crib, with the New York Liberty rolling into town. Liberty, 12.5-point road favorites in this one. Would you believe me? Well, you probably would believe me because it's the Liberty versus the Sparks. But this is another revenge game at home, at the crib. Of course, the Liberties took the Sparks behind the woodshed coming out of the Olympic break. They were up almost 40 points at one point in that game. Yeah, not happening this time. I don't think so. I'm taking the Sparks plus the points. They just spanked them by 30, and the book's going to come in and put the line at 12.5. In my opinion, this is the best team in the WNBA versus the worst team in the WNBA, but the line doesn't necessarily indicate it the way I think it should. So, come on, Sparks. Give me a backdoor cover tonight, and let's keep the theme going. Revenge games at home, at the crib. That's my theme for the night. We'll see if it all comes to fruition. Ruffolo, what you liking this one?
I'm going to hear revenge game at home in my sleep tonight. I'm going to take the over 163.5 in this one. I think the Liberty are the better team, but now you've got me haunted thinking that, maybe this is a spot where the Sparks can come out, and I got burned by the Liberty already. But the reality is that, revenge game at home or not, the Liberty have averaged 98 points per game in 3 games against the Sparks this season. They put up something similar. It's not going to take a whole lot for the Sparks to get us up and over this total. If the Sparks are going to be a lot more competitive here, I could see them helping chip into a total up over 163, maybe closer to 170. When the Liberty have played the dregs of the WNBA this season, the games have been going over because the Liberty have been doing a lot of heavy lifting. So for me, I'm going to go with the over 163.5 in this one.
And that's going to conclude this episode of the WNBA Layup Session. As always, we appreciate each and every one of you that continue to tune in and watch this video. Money Making Wednesday. We got a huge card today in the WNBA, so of course, I got premium plays over at the site that you guys can hop on and make some money with. Hey, it's a money-making week, though. We're out of the dog days of summer. We got college football on the docket. We got baseball still going on, even though I'm really going real light in baseball for the remainder of the season. But every now and then I still have some plays there. But with WNBA having cards like this and college football starting on tomorrow on Thursday and the NFL right on the horizon, y'all know NBA right around the corner, I want something long-term, man. Let's continue to kick the crap out of the books. Ruffolo, what you got going on, my man?
Yeah, I'm going to have some MLB on the card tomorrow. WNBA, the size of this card, most likely will have something on the board. So, yeah, like Jay said, definitely take advantage of a long-term pass. Rather than buying everything individually, if you get a long-term pass, makes the plays a lot cheaper. And especially now, like Jay said, they're out of the dog days of summer. We got weekday college football this week, some great games as well. Definitely want to make sure that you're jumping on a long-term pass. But anything that you get over at Pickdawgz Premium, we're going to make you money with. Easy for me to say. You just got to go over, check everything out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So again, one last time, we appreciate each and every one of y'all. We'll see y'all as we continue to cook up this WNBA action and everything else we do here at Pick Dawgz. Money Making Wednesday. We'll see y'all soon. We out of here. Peace.